Hello and welcome, students of Europe Hotel School. As a hotel operations expert, I've seen firsthand how data and process can make or break a launch. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest risks on that journey, regulatory compliance. Seriously, if you get this wrong, your entire project can grind to a halt before you even unlock the doors.
And I'm not exaggerating here. It is so easy to get caught up in all the fun stuff, right? You're thinking about menu design, you're training staff, you're picking out the decor. But this is the critical challenge that's happening behind the scenes. And a failure here isn't just some small setback. It's a game-over event. That's why you have to get on top of it from day one. So here's how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll talk about why this is such a common blind spot for so many operators. Then, we'll get into the three big pillars you have to master: health and food safety, the liquor license maze, and all those mandatory safety sign-offs. And we'll wrap up with the most important part, the proactive mindset that truly sets a professional leader apart. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, the compliance blind spot. It's really tempting to look at all this as just a bunch of boring paperwork, boxes to tick off a list. But you, as a leader, you have to see it for what it really is. This is a massive, high-risk item that is right at the center of your project's path to success. So what are we really talking about here? Let's be crystal clear. Regulatory compliance is your job. It means you, the F&B leader, are the one responsible for getting every single piece of paper, every approval from the government, from the city, whatever it takes to legally open your doors and serve your guests. It all lands on your shoulders. And if you drop the ball, the cost is just staggering. We are not talking about a little slap on the wrist. You're looking at huge financial penalties, a ton of lost revenue because your opening is delayed, and maybe the worst thing of all, serious damage to your brand's reputation before a single customer has even tried your food.
All right, let's get into our first major area, health and food safety. I need you to think of this as more than just a permit. This is the absolute foundation of your permission to operate. Without this, you don't have a business. It's that simple.
Now, what's so important to see on the slide is the timeline. This isn't something you start thinking about a month before you open. No way. This process can kick off a full 6 months out, with inspectors coming in during construction to check everything from your flooring to your ventilation systems. It's a long, detailed process that all leads to one final, high-stakes inspection just days before you're set to open. And that final inspection, man, that is the moment of truth. The health inspector is going to walk through with a checklist, and you have to be ready. They're going to ask to see your safety data sheets for every single chemical in the building. They'll want to see your HACCP plans, your system for managing food safety. They're going to verify that your staff have their food handling certifications. And crucially, they will take out their thermometer and test every single fridge, freezer, and hot holding unit to make sure they're at safe temperatures. And look, there is no gray area here. It's pass or fail. If you don't pass that final inspection, you cannot legally serve one plate of food to anyone, period. That beautiful new kitchen you just built, it's just a really, really expensive storage room until you pass. Okay, next up, and this is a big one, what I call the liquor licensing maze. This is almost always the most complicated, the most time-consuming piece of the puzzle. It's often the longest item on your entire project timeline, and it is tied directly to your ability to make money. Just look at this timeline. The process can begin a full year, 12 months before your opening day. You're working with lawyers, you're submitting incredibly detailed plans for your site, your security systems. Then you're navigating background checks and public hearings where anyone from the community can raise objections. This shows you right here why you absolutely cannot wait to get this started. And after all that, on opening day, that physical license has to be posted on the wall. The financial hit here is just immediate and it is deep. If there's any delay in getting that liquor license, you've just blown a massive hole in your revenue projections for every single bar and restaurant in the building. It is a direct hit to your bottom line, and it can take months or even years to recover from that lost ground. All right, our third big area of compliance really rounds out the safety picture: mandatory safety sign-offs. This is all about making sure the physical building itself is safe for every single person who walks in. That means your guests and your staff. So you're usually dealing with two main players here, and they each have a different focus. First, you've got the fire marshal. They're focused on public safety. They're checking your fire suppression systems, making sure your emergency exits are clear, and they're the ones who will set your maximum occupancy load. Then you have your workplace safety authority, like an OSHA. They're focused on your employees.
They're looking for safe working conditions, making sure your equipment has the proper safety guards, and checking your policies on protective gear. You have to pass both. It is completely non-negotiable.
So we've laid out all the challenges, all the potential pitfalls, but how do the best leaders get this right every single time? Well, that brings us to our last and I think most important section, developing the proactive professional's mindset. This is about making a huge shift from scrambling to fix problems to making sure those problems never even happen in the first place.
The secret is actually pretty simple to say, but it takes real discipline to pull off. It's this: integrate, don't react. A true pro doesn't wait for an inspector to show up and find a problem. They are weaving compliance requirements into the project from the moment the first blueprint is drawn. So what does that actually look like on the ground? Well, it means you're on the construction site with a hard hat, personally checking that the coving where the floor meets the wall is up to health code. It means when your team is designing the bar, you're making sure the liquor storage meets the very specific security rules of the liquor board. And it means you're getting safety requirements baked into the architectural plans from day one, not trying to bolt them on later when it costs a fortune.
And this isn't just, a good idea or a best practice. This is a core professional discipline. It is the clearest sign of a leader who gets that managing risk is every bit as important as managing service. This is what separates the amateurs from the pros. This dedication, this obsession with getting ahead of compliance is the standard we expect from every single leader trained right here at Europe Hotel School. It's a mindset that understands that compliance isn't some annoying hurdle you have to jump over. It's a critical part of the financial and operational health of your entire business. So as you move forward in your careers, I want you to carry this question with you. Because on every project you ever work on, you're going to have to make a choice. Are you going to treat compliance like an afterthought and hope for the best? Or are you going to master it and make it the solid, unshakable foundation for all of your success? The answer to that question will define you as a leader.